saying that companies need to go public soon. Now we do see companies charging out of the gate, but we look at how going out of the gate. I wonder if you think they're doing it the right way or not. For example, Snowflake going public, shares doubling on the first day of trading. Is that a victory or a miscalculation?
Well, look, I think any CEO that you talk to on the day of or day after a successful IPO is in a mindset of achievement and is not, and I completely understand this. They're not in a mindset of, oh, did I just make a mistake? But the process that we use to go public, if people spent the time to understand how it actually works, um, is the equivalent of using a paper map to do a 4-hour drive today. Like, there's just much more elegant technology enabled approach. And because of conflicts of interest and because there's a lot of money involved, there's a lot of people who want the broken process to exist and to continue. Unfortunately, it's getting worse. Snowflake alone was $4.5 billion. Just one company. And so the day after the IPO, the people that were allocated the stock the night before have 4.5 billion in wealth they didn't have before. And that money didn't just come out of nowhere. And unfortunately, the process is getting worse. We have a wonderful new age alternative called the direct listing that just matches supply and demand. That's how Palantir and Asana just went out on the backs of Spotify and Slack. So now we're getting some momentum around that. There's a small set of people that happen to be people that I highly respect. And the public side, it's like Rich Barton and Mark Benioff and Reed Hastings and Toby at Shopify. And if you just do Google searches, you'll see they all say the exact same thing I'm saying, which is companies are too afraid to go public. And there are massive benefits to being first in category, being public, having control of the narrative with the buy side. Spencer Rascoff wrote a long blog post on the subject, which you could also go find and read. But there were voices in Silicon Valley about 5 or 10 years ago that I think were mostly raising late stage funds and wanted to kind of to pick off the investments before they got public that started this stay private longer thing. But I've always equated to, I always like the analogy of football, which is if there were some college quarterback that was, in the top 50 list of the draft that held a press conference and said, I don't think I'm going to go into the NFL yet because I'm really afraid of scrutiny. And, they track every single stat, and I don't want to be short-term oriented. If someone did that, they would fall immediately. But that's the behavior of some of the founders in Silicon Valley that buy into the stay private thing. Like, the minute you started giving stock to your employees, you're in the game. And your job is to maximize shareholder value for all your constituents, your investors, your employees, everything else. And so if you don't want to keep raising your game, you should sell your company or maybe consider hiring a CEO that is.
as both Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman joined us on their decision to shut down Quibi. Here are the two of them on what went into that decision and what comes next.
We start to see a slowdown in our momentum. And we tried many different things, many different packaging models. We changed our marketing. We changed the app many different times. But it was clear that for whatever reason, this was not going to be as successful as Jeffrey and I had hoped. And so we took stock of where we were and we said the best thing to do, the honorable thing to do, is to return money to shareholders when we knew this was not going to have a path forward as a viable standalone business. So we feel like we made the right decision, a difficult decision, but the right one for shareholders.
I have a bottomless well of need to win. This smarts. It hurts a lot. Very disappointed that we have disappointed our investors and our employees. And so for me, I got to get back up on that horse and go find this mountain to charge up to. And it's the only thing I know how to do, and have a lot to prove.
When you look at people like Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman, Carl, these are two people who've had massively successful careers. And you really have to give them credit, Carl, to acknowledge that this didn't work, acknowledge the failure, and say that they want to move on. So I really would give them credit for that, Carl.
Keith, it's certainly been quite a week in tech, and the question this week that really intrigues me most of all is PayPal's embrace of crypto, or seeming embrace. What I don't understand, and perhaps you can explain this to me, is how you can use crypto to pay for things. So if I want to buy a new iPhone or a new camera, or if I want to buy some food online, a restaurant takeaway, or some tickets or a subscription, how do I use crypto? My understanding is that crypto is not a currency. So this supposed marriage between PayPal and crypto seems to me to be somewhat forced and weird. Perhaps you can explain that to me in this week in which everybody at least is saying that crypto hit mainstream.
Hi, folks. I'm Mel Brooks, and behind me you see my son and grandson, and they can't be with me. Why? Because of this coronavirus. And Donald Trump's not doing a damn thing about it. So many people have died. When you're dead, you can't do much. So I'm voting for Joe Biden. I like Joe. Why do I like Joe? Because Joe likes facts. Because Joe likes science. Joe will keep us going. Take a tip from me. Vote for Joe. Okay, that's all I've got to say. Okay, you can leave. Thank you. Thank you. See you soon. I got to fill my ballot. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, I love you too. That was good.